This lesson shows you how to factorise a cubic using the long division method. Your first job is to find the first zero, that is, the value of x that makes y equal to 0. To do that, you simply guess intelligently and you work your way through the numbers 1 to 3. After that, you must check your work to make sure you haven't made a mistake, because they should be done by then. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out the value of the function with 1 where x is. So it equals 1 cubed, 4 times 1 squared, plus 1 plus 6, which equals 1, take 4, plus 1 plus 6. And I can see that that's not going to equal 0. So then I try negative 1, and I get negative 1 cubed, take 4 times negative 1 squared, plus negative 1 plus 6, which equals negative 1, take 4, take 1 plus 6, which does equal 0. So that means that my very first bracket my very first factor in the factorising, the first factor equals x plus 1. So if minus 1 causes the function to equal 0, then the first bracket or the first factor must be x plus 1. Now after that, I've called this the cubic factorisation using the long division method. So obviously what we're going to do next is use long division to divide x plus 1 into x cubed, take 4x squared plus x plus 6. What you do then is you focus on the x's and you say, how many times does x go into x cubed? And the answer is, goes x squared times. You then multiply x squared by x plus 1. So you say x squared times x is x cubed, x squared times 1 is x squared. Then you take that line from the line above it. So negative 4x squared take x squared will be equal to negative 5x squared. Next job is to bring down the x and say how many times does x now, over here on the left, how many times does that go into negative 5x squared? Well, it goes minus 5x times. And once again you multiply that negative 5x that we found by x plus 1 and you put the result down the bottom. So you get take 5x squared, take 5x. Take that line from the line above it and you'll end up with x take negative 5x, which is 6x, then bring down the 6. How many times does x plus 1 go into 6x plus 6? The answer is 6. 6 times x plus 6 leaves no remainder, which is what we wanted. So what we've got is that the polynomial now equals x plus 1, my very first factor, multiplied by my second factor, x squared take 5x plus 6. Now that particular bracket, x squared take 5x plus 6, I can see that that's a quadratic that I can factorise quite easily using basic cross-sticks method that you've learnt since year 9, and that'll equal x take 2, x take 3. So that's the cubic factorise using the method of long division.